Hello, everybody. It is good to see y'all. Got two of my friends, two two of the three, maybe four that I've got. Got Wayne Clasper from across the pond in England, and I've got
Good
Todd
evening.
Phipps. Todd, you're in where are you at?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. I don't know why I want to make you in Mississippi for some reason. Anyway, Todd's in Dallas, so it's good to have you guys. I'm gonna put you all in the background, and then we'll get on and share with these guys what we're doing today. Um, couple of friends that I watch quite often have turned some bowls specifically to hold coffee filters. My wife and I are both coffee drinkers, and so our coffee filters end up getting put on top of a bunch of mugs, and over time they go from being kind of straight up and down, and they kind of get wider and wider, and those nice pleats kind of disappear. So I'm going to turn a bowl that those coffee filters will fit down into that'll hold those filters more upright, keep them from relaxing quite so much. We're going to use a piece of oak. I was just telling Wayne and Todd that this is a piece of dunnage that I got from a reclamation place. It is 5 3/4 by 2 3/8 is the size on it. I've already got a worm screw drilled, and so we're going to put that on and get going. And while I'm getting this started, one of these guys is going to start reading out who all is in the chat.
Oh, excuse me for coughing. Okay, I'll do that. Is that okay, Todd?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so on my, I am in the live chat on YouTube. So we've got Ronald Todd in. Good evening, Ronald. We've got Larry in. That's Henry's Scrolls All Works. Val's in. Evening, Val. Andy from Door 60's in. Jennifer's Crafts and Creations is in. Evening, Jennifer. How are you doing? And Todd's there as well. I was just looking at the overhead there, and that looks absolutely fine, Doug.
Yep, just getting it centered just a little bit better, but
Yeah.
other than that, we're good.
Michael McEwen's in. Malcolm Douglas. Barry Chitty. Andy Wivy Woodshed or Wivy Woodshed, whichever. Oh, and then the chat jumps.
Of course.
Roger Wallum. Rob from Copper Owl. Al's in. Good afternoon, Al. How are you doing? Healy's in as well. Good evening, Healy. And Vinnie Charlton's in. Andrew's in. AGK Woodworks.
Precious.
Fred Gulliver's in. Still going down. Heather's in as well. That's Spirit, Wood, Stone and Bone. Jamie's in. And Jamie has said, whoa, Todd looks like Wayne has had a shave.
I'm not sure which of us is supposed to feel worse about that.
just feel good about it, Todd. Just feel
Okay,
good.
which one of us should feel better about it, I guess.
Dale's just come in. Old Man River.
Hey, Dale.
Anthony Green's in. Tim Ponder. I'm not too bad, Jennifer. How are you? Let's see. Todd Phipps has just come in. Oh, sorry, that's Todd. Todd of Glen Cove's in. And I'm still going down. I think I'm nearly at the bottom. Oh, Jimmy said he's early at his computer for Wayne's live tomorrow. Lol.
Your mic went again, Wayne.
Yeah, that might not be happening, Jamie. Paul Hoyton's in. Roger Kent. I'm still going down. Tony Foster's in. Johnny said, "Hi all. They've changed his break time so he can watch for a little bit." Nice one. Oh, I'm still going down. Dear me. And Shug's just come in as well. Evening, Shug.
Good.
I can
No
just
break
about
stuff.
guarantee that Jamie, AGK, and Shug are in a chat watching this together and trying to think up things to say.
I would about bet on that. Good to have everybody today. It's been a good day here in northern Kentucky, not central Kentucky. My dad is in central Kentucky. I'm in northern Kentucky. Little difference.
Jamie said, "Might not for tomorrow night." So you're saying there's a chance? Well, there's always a chance. Spunby Green Jeans has just come in. Don't know your proper name, but good afternoon. And Susie just come in as well. And that's me finally at the bottom of the chat. If I have missed anybody, I do apologise. Frederick said he must have been blocked again. Maybe I missed him.
I don't think there's anybody blocked.
No, me neither.
Not yet, anyway. There's always that possibility, but at this point, I don't think anybody is blocked. All right. I'm just making this
Snakes
tin
has
and
just come in.
Snakes.
Hey, Snakes.
Glad to have you. Sneaking in like usual. Just making this tin and cleaning it up, prettying it up. If I have measured correctly, I won't have to come back and do anything with it.
Right, going back to me doing a live tomorrow night. Jamie said there's a drink in it for your Harrogate, but Shug's paying. And Paul Finley's come in as well. Good evening, Paul.
Hey, Paul. There's a little fuzzy on there that I'm missing somehow. Where's it coming from? Right on the edge. Typical of oak, it's got one little fiber that wants to stick out.
So those of you who have come in late, Doug is turning a piece of oak tonight, which was I think about 5 3/4 by about 2.5, 2 3/4, something like that.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
he's turning the bowl to fit coffee filters into.
Yeah. That's why you turn the lathe off before you change your tool rest.
Yeah, exactly. And James Crawford's is coming as well.
You only need to do that if you want to keep those corners.
I'm not keeping the corners. I just don't want to damage anything, especially not me. I have this thing about damaging myself. I'm also working on my son's car. He had the infinite wisdom to. I think he was texting while he was driving, or at least reading a text. He ran into somebody.
Oh dear me.
Yep, ran into the back of somebody else and sprung a. 2 years later, he springs a leak in his radiator. So, been trying to get the old radiator removed, and it's partly because he pushed everything back so far. It's not been a fun job.
All right, okay.
All right.
I was going to say if it was a small leak, it could always use egg white. That's going back some time. Yeah, Jamie's just said crack an egg into it.
I'll give you a better one than that. A box of pepper.
All right.
I hadn't heard the pepper one.
I haven't. I've never heard the pepper one before as well, but certainly egg white we used to use a lot when I was in the army.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond Wise
Yeah.
has just come in. Good evening, Raymond.
All right, still got a flat on all four sides. Just
Have you
working
got a
it down.
split in there as well, Doug?
I don't know. A little bit of one right there, yeah. That's where that little knot thing was.
All right, okay.
But yeah, there's a little bit of a split there. We'll get it round first, and we'll see how much is there, and we'll see about that knot as well. And I just realized y'all couldn't see what I was pointing at.
So Dale got lucky and got part of a box elder tree that came down in yesterday's storm next door to him, and he's getting the usable wood, and it looks to have some very nice red flames. Nice one, Dale.
Here, I'm just talking about had those flat spots, and I'm trying to take finish cuts on there. That's no good. Let's just get it off of there for now. Yeah, we're getting closer.
Tell you the truth, Doug, I'm quite surprised Susie hasn't asked this yet, but could you put an overhead on that?
We can do that. All right, now we'll see what we got. Should be better.
And another thing, Doug, the noise cancelling on the overhead is a hell of a lot better than on the other camera.
That you said that. Let me just double check, make sure.
And I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, because it's yeah, it's all the same camera or same microphone. We're all on my
All
Zoom
right, okay.
or on my Jabra. So I don't know. Okay, let's put a little glue in that crack just because. And I do use, for those of you who have seen this before, use the 3408 part from Parfex. Just good glue. Just good glue. There's that knot. We'll put a little in there just to be sure. And this is, like I said, this is dunnage, and it has stereotypical oak cracks in it where it has dried over the years. It's never been taken care of. I really think it was used for dunnage on large trucks, just to chalk the tires. Almost every piece I got had black tire marks on it. So
now Larry is asking you, Doug, did you look up following ghosts yet?
Oh no, I have not. No, I had to think about what you're saying. No, I have not. I need to do that. Following Ghost is a turkey call maker. I want to look it up. I want to see some videos on making the yelps, not the box calls or scratch calls, but the yelps, which is more of a long. Which way am I going? It's a long thing you blow through it, little trumpet-looking thing. This part of the country, they don't use those a lot, so that's why I want to look at it.
Yeah, Larry said they are trumpet yelper calls.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to look those up, and I may think about making a few of those.
And making the prof in. Evening, Prof.
Hey, Rob. Making the slate calls. A lot of people do those, and a lot of people in this area make those. I don't know anybody that makes the yelpers, the trumpet yelpers.
Do they actually work?
Yeah, they do. Yep, they surely do. All right, I think we're ready for sanding at this point, so we're going to turn it down. Not that far. We'll go to 500. And again, another experiment. We're going to try the big dust collector. How's that sound at this point?
It's cutting it out. Good.
We're okay? Okay.
Can't hear a thing.
Good. It's loud to me. I'm glad that Jabra cuts it out. We'll reverse this, go the other direction for just a minute.
Oh, Larry's going to send me a photo of a Yelper turkey call. I don't think we have much need for them over here, to tell you the truth.
Turkey hunting here is a lot of fun. A lot of people do it. I like the turkey hunt, but I've not found a good way of preparing the turkey. It's just the wild turkey I've had has not been pleasing to me.
We don't tend to get wild turkey over here.
Right.
Mind you, they do go a bit mental when they've got to go in the oven, but apart from that.
We lost your mic there again, Wayne.
Oh,
you know, here in North Texas, we have way more turkey than I would have expected before I moved here.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe a little further north, between Dallas and like Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
A lot of turkey. But I'm with you on those, Doug. They don't the wild turkey aren't as like meaty and fat, and then they have a little different taste to them, and they can be real dry.
Yeah, well, dry and just flat tough.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, you're not cooking it right. You need to do this. You need to do that." I said, "I did that." Okay, then do this. All right, I did that. I've had several. We've cooked them, smoked them. We've done all kinds of things with them, and I've just not been real sold on it. I can get a turkey from the grocery store, not have to get up at the crack of dawn. All that fun stuff. And I can have a juicy smoked turkey in about 6 hours on the smoker. In fact, my family at Thanksgiving, if I'm not smoking a turkey, they don't want to have a Thanksgiving meal.
Todd at Glen Clove says the people in the grocery store look strangely at you when you use a turkey call.
Yep. And they go a little nutty when you shoot that turkey.
Yeah.
Robert Copperella said he's surrounded by wild turkeys but would not eat them. And Dale said we have a lot of wild turkey in upstate New York.
I bet. Yeah, we're blessed in the U.S. with several different varieties of turkey, and there are people who travel the country trying to collect all 4 in a single year. But man, that knot is going to be gorgeous when we get that completed.
And Robert Copperella said that what he actually said was, I hear sandhill cranes are delicious. I probably wouldn't eat them either.
I don't know that I would either. Well, I did it again.
No need to do that, Doug. Just twist it off. It's on the screw.
Hey, Wayne, it's twisting.
It's a lot easier to get that screw off of there before you take it off the chuck.
Sometimes it's easier to spin it around than use the channel locks to grab the screw and take it out.
That's it.
It's very easy to take some wood off a wormwood screw than it is to take others off a wormwood screw.
Yeah. What was that? Camel heart or something?
Yeah, it was camel heart, I think it was. Yeah, that was a nightmare.
They hand
No,
Wayne a
no,
piece of wood and say, "Here, turn this."
yeah, nobody extracted the urine out of me that day.
No, nobody. Especially not those who were in the booth with you, huh? All right. All right. That's on.
Anthony Green says, what about the wild boar? Do you have a lot of problems with them, or is that just a TikTok thing? And if he's asking about here in Texas, in the Dallas area, the metro area that I live in, we don't see a lot of them. You go like 30 miles outside of the metro area, and they're just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
another
don't
thing
have
we
them too
don't get a
bad.
lot of. We don't get a hell of a lot of wild boar. There are parts of UK that do have wild boar, but we don't get a lot. Now, my vet is a guy who goes out and shoots as well. He does a lot of deer culling, I should say, around southwest Scotland. But on his holidays, he travels to Spain to hunt wild boar.
All right. I'm going to end up needing almost all of this width. But better too small than too large in this case.
Dale said that they have. No, somebody mentioned black bears earlier on. Who was it?
Yeah, here in Kentucky, we've got more issue with black bears. They are
Now,
encroaching the state quickly.
yeah, it was Larry who said we have a lot of wild animals here. We're even getting black bear back in here. And Dale has said we have black bears. They love to get into people's garbage.
Yes.
What we have a lot of here around me are bobcats.
Mm.
And, I live in a pretty dense subdivision, but I've had 3 at a time bobcats in my backyard.
Wow.
Families of them.
Oh, Mike's
And
in from Dances.
Hi, Mike.
And Larry has said, going back to the black bears, they've spotted 5 in 1 yard in Natchez, Mississippi.
Yes.
I saw a wee video on Facebook last night where the wife is gardening and the husband is mowing the lawn, and 2 bears came through. Just had to wander through the yard, and she was shouting her head off, "Get in the house! Get in the house!"
That would be interesting. For those who are familiar with Kentucky and kind of where things are, I'm up close to Cincinnati, which is up in northern Kentucky, and Lexington. Well, I'm halfway between Lexington and Cincinnati. They have spotted black bears in Lexington, inside the city limits. So that's only 45 minutes away from me.
Mike has said, "We have were squirrels." You've heard of werewolves? He has were squirrels.
Hmm.
JP's just said, "I thought all you have in Kentucky is chickens."
No, we had chickens till I went on vacation. Mr. Fox decided he wanted them more than I did.
Oh, Alan's just come in, Alan Gabe. He has said good evening to you, to Ruby and me. I'm sorry, Alan, but Ruby isn't in tonight. She is out and about doing stuff, I think.
Yeah,
And Todd
she
has,
was at a.
Todd has answered Jamie saying horses too, Jamie. They're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
Kentucky, the finest around.
yes, we got good horses, and horses are everywhere. I've got horses 2 doors up from me.
Ron Kisco's just come in. Good evening, Ron. So Larry's neighbour had a bear eating out of his deer feeder at the back porch.
All right, I'm about halfway down on the side here.
Yeah. Now, this is a very good question. Obviously, it's from Shug, and it's a very good question for all of you people over there in the States. And he wants to know who has the job of plucking the buffalo wings.
Ah, there you go. Another one I'm not a big fan of. I like wings, but I don't care for the buffalo sauce. Mostly because
Uh,
it's Tabasco flavored.
Okay, Andy the Valley Woodturn has just come in. Evening, Andy. And Walt Brew Woodworking has just come in, and he has said he lives on the mid-east coast of Florida. We have no bears. Central Florida has bears. We have bobcats, foxes, and coyotes.
Y'all don't have bears, huh? I thought Florida was covered up with bears.
Now, Jamie has said something interesting here, and it's got nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but I find it quite interesting anyway. And he has said, I was today's years old when I found out that babies don't have kneecaps. I'm going to have to look that one up, Jamie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That seems like a crazy thing.
Maybe not as developed, but I bet they do.
And Todd at Glen Cove has said the worst thing we have here in Texas and throughout the South are fire ants. If you don't have them, you're blessed.
Absolutely.
And that is truth. They will eat you alive before you know it.
Yep. I was watching a video yesterday. A guy in southern Mississippi, and he was talking about fire ants, and he had to get done with whatever it was he was doing. He had to lay on the ground to do it, but he is highly allergic to fire ants.
Each fire ant bite is somewhere between like a mosquito sting and a bee sting or something.
It's not good, yeah.
And you can get 30, 40, 50, 100 of them in just a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. A little further over the tool rest than I usually care to be.
So Shug is asking, and just asking in general, what about diamondback rattlers?
What about them?
Okay, diamondback rattlers. I imagine they are from the Texas area, around about that Texas, Arizona, maybe.
I've seen them. They're out there. There's quite a few of them, and they are big snakes, like as big around as a soda can or some beer can or something.
Oh, dear God, that's quite
And
big.
and 6 foot long.
Yeah. We have timber rattlers.
And I
Here.
think there's timber rattlers here too. And then there's like
Probably.
a black-tailed something or another
Yeah.
here.
A lot of comments coming through here about snakes and stuff. Todd has said for the Diamondback, Texas and Westwood, but they also have cottonmouths and copperheads as well.
Taking the full size finisher from Easy Wood and turning it up on edge. A little less aggressive.
That'll get you into that corner a little easier too.
Yeah, I've got a little lump in the wall, which is not bad. I just wanted to smooth it out just a little bit.
Did I mention that Doug is a demonstrator for Easy Wood Tools?
Same thing going across the bottom. Just want to smooth that out gently.
I noticed you changed your angle to the other direction.
Yeah, going tilted the direction I'm pushing the tool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Alan Gibb has said that he knows quite a few snakes in the grass.
Those tend to go around. All right, clean up my rim a little bit.
That's you. Just gone half an hour, Doug.
Okay. All right. Well,
now Jamie has said to you, Doug, why are you tilting the tool? Use a negative rate cutter.
If I had any, don't have any negative rate cutters.
And Roland Todd said, it's amazing what we discuss and talk about while watching Doug turn. Oh, God, we've got loads of conversation going on about snakes at the moment.
Snakes are an interesting creature. It's an animal. I'm not afraid of them. I have a healthy respect for them. And if they get in my house, the only good one is a dead one. So that's my thought there. Outside, I'll let them go because they have so many benefits to having snakes around. But I do not want them inside my house.
I don't imagine anybody would, to tell you, well, other than people that keep snakes.
Yeah, I mean, I think those people are a little nutty, personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you get out of it?
Snakes are just a little creepy.
I guess we're lucky here in the U.S. Most of the snakes are not aggressive. So they don't want anything to do with you. And I say that with the exception of the Mojave rattlesnake. The Mojave
they'll come after you.
is aggressive.
Word of wisdom to everybody. Don't go to the Mojave Desert.
Sounds like a good suggestion.
I was stationed in the Army there, and there would be little briefings on how to deal with Mojave green rattlesnakes or to avoid them, and don't think of them the same way as other snakes because they'll actually strike at you way more often.
Now, Ronald Todd has said, no food discussion today. I'm sure you can eat snake if you want to.
Yep. Tastes like chicken.
Without legs. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, JP mentioning using the negative rake on the Easy Wood, and they do make a negative rake in all the configurations, and I just don't have them. I've never ordered them or requested them, and I guess I should now that I'm doing demonstrations, get some negative rake and show those as well.
I did 2 Easy Wood tool demonstrations in June, one in Fort Worth and one in Dallas, and both times people wanted to see the negative rake, and I didn't have them either.
Yeah.
That they are a really nice option for a harder wood.
Yes. Or your resins.
And resins, yeah.
Yeah, on resin, that is like the tool. Be hard to beat the negative rake Easy Wood tool on resin.
Let's see, Todd Glenn, Cove Woodworks. Yes, I did the demo at Woodcraft in Plano, June 22nd, I think.
I believe you did. It was. I was thinking it was a week before I did my the first of the 2 that I did. I did one on the June 29th, and then again on July the 6th.
Yeah, I had a fun time at that demo. It's really fun being out and seeing people
Absolutely
doing things. I don't know when I demo for an event like that that's featuring a specific tool. Right. I don't know when to stop. How much sanding and finish and whatnot should I do when you're done using the tool? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I get to a point where I feel like, okay, you've seen me use the tool. Do you really want to see me sand this up and throw some finish on it? Or from Easy Wood's point of view, because I'm there for them, should I throw another piece of wood on and do something else?
I tell you what I did, and it will be interesting. They've got that demonstrator Zoom thing coming up, and I'll be interested to hear what they say. I turned in the second one I did was 2 hours, and I actually went through the this other stuff I've got. Yorkshire grit, that stuff, yeah. Here I'm going to use a little bit of axe. That's what I use here at the house, and that's what I'm supported by them as well before Easy Wood came along. And so, but anyway, for those demonstrations, I did the Yorkshire grit and Hampshire Sheen wax. And I was amazed how many people had not seen either of the products, either the Yorkshire grit or the Hampshire Sheen wax. So that I did that since Easy Wood has Yorkshire grit now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Fact, I talked about it when I was talking with Doug about being a demonstrator. He said, of course you can. Anything else you're sponsored by, you're welcome to show that product as well. I said, oh, good. I'll show my axe. He said, by the way, I'd love to get you on Yorkshire grit.
Yeah.
So, well, so Glenn Sr. and I had a long conversation about that once.
And I've only used the Yorkshire grit and not the axe, and I'm sure they're both great products.
Yes.
And I like the Yorkshire grit a lot. I'd actually made a lot of my own DIY abrasive paste in the past, and the Yorkshire grit is noticeably better than what I was making myself.
Right. And I did the same thing. I started with stuff that I made. Then I used Yorkshire grit, and I used an entire jar of what I made. Then I used an entire jar of Yorkshire, and then I wanted to try the axe. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't get my
Excuse you.
shield and my microphone up quick enough. Anyway, um, used the axe, and I was just about done with my first jar of axe when had a conversation with Tom, and he very quickly said he'd like to sponsor me and supply me with some axe, and uh, so that's what we did, and it wasn't too well. It was almost a year later that Glenn sold out, got out, turn it up a little bit, still using that same area of the paper towel. I like to turn it up once or twice just to make sure that grit has done all it's going to do. But anyway, yeah, Todd, that's for the demonstrations when I'm doing easy wood. I'll go ahead and do the Yorkshire grit as well and put a wax finish on it. I did not remove the tenon. I left the tenon on, and I left the bowls with the store in both cases.
How fast are you spinning right now?
Right now I'm at 390.
Okay.
Not terrible fast, but I'm breaking the grit down. It's just about done. Then we'll turn it up to 490. I'm going from my dirty end to the clean end. Start buffing it out. Since this will be in the kitchen, I'll handle it more than anybody, but my wife will be handling it as well. I want it to be smooth and comfortable for her to grab hold of. If it's just me, I wouldn't even wax it. I don't know. Difference between men and women. I don't care. It's just holding coffee filters. If it's going to be out on the counter, she's going to want it to look nice and feel nice.
There's a difference for the first year or two. After that, there's probably not much difference. Oils in your hand versus the oils that were in the wax and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And it looks like you're doing the same thing I do when I use abrasive paste. Basically every time I flip to a clean space, I kick the speed up a little bit.
Yep.
And buff it more and more.
Yep. We're up to 840 now. If anybody's keeping track.
Yeah, when you're using abrasive paste, what you want to end up with the final pass is absolutely no residue on the paper towel.
Yeah.
Right. And before I started watching Wayne, and I guess that was, golly, Wayne, that's been a long time now. 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I had not even heard of abrasive paste. And then I learned everything I know from Wayne Clasper and a few others. The Wood Jedi, the Master.
Oh, come on. I don't know what's been going on in with it. Obviously, Jamie and Sugar have been talking about their steak pies. Dancers, Mike from Dancers put in there. I don't know if anybody read this out while I was away. Chuck Norris was once bitten by a rattlesnake. After 3 days of agony and suffering, the snake finally died.
Yep. Ouch. Ouch. That didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Hit my arm on the
Chuck Norris wanted to be a wood turner one time. He came to me for advice. I've got a T-shirt saying that.
Yeah, yeah. We're sped up to, we're just over 1,000 with a new piece of paper towel.
Ronald Sodder said, Axe recommends 500 RPM for the paste and 1,000 for the polish. I always recommend when using an abrasive paste, start off at around about 250.
Yeah.
Okay, for the first couple of minutes, start off at 250 and then increase in increments up to around about 700 for your final pass where there is no residue left on the paper towel.
And not putting Ron or not putting Tom Ackley down at all. It really, everybody is different and you work differently. And Tom has given you what works for him. That's a good place to start. But like Wayne said, I do the same thing. I turn it down to 250. My lathe will go even slower. I've heard Mark Beckett talk about, if you're using a Reeves drive and you can only go 500 as the slowest, start there.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you've got to go at your slow speed, not necessarily your slow speed, but people who are using Reeves drives, their slow speed is going to be 450 to 500. So
Yeah.
that's got to be the starting point.
Yep.
Now, Todd at Glencover said Americans don't seem to use sand and sealer and abrasive paste like Europeans do. No, the thing is with you using sand and sealer before you use an abrasive paste is that it seals in all those furry bits, if you like. And if you're using an abrasive paste after a sand and sealer, you don't need to knock back the sand and sealer because you are using an abrasive paste over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't use a sand and sealer before you use the abrasive paste, what can happen is that the oil within the sand and sealer can actually soak into the wood. So you might need to use a second coat of sand and sealer to get that knocked back out. Oh, Andrew has said that the thing about Chuck Norris coming to me for advice, I said that on his first live.
Mm.
Larry's asking, how would you make a small lathe turn faster like the Harbour Freight 10 times 18? Would I just change the pulleys? Well, no, I think the small lathes of that size, I believe, have electronic speed control. They have a direct drive motor as opposed to an AC motor. The smallest speed tends to be about 500. Then it can't, because they usually do have two different pulley settings on them, and the highest speed goes up to something over 3,000 anyway. Hi, Ruby.
Turn faster. Ruby's in. Hello, Ruby.
And Matt Ibbotson's in as well.
Hey, Matt.
He said he's been here for ages, but he's watching on TV, so he couldn't chat.
Uh-huh.
So he's decided to either turn his phone on or turn his computer on, one of the two.
Lost you again there, Wayne.
Dances with Aardvarks asks, how does the coffee filter fit into this story?
Now, to tell you the truth, Todd, I was going to ask that as well.
Yeah.
Because usually when I've bought coffee filters, they come in a sort of a triangular sort of shape with a curved over top.
Yes, that's a different style. These are the round ones that are pleated so that they stand up in a basket, a round basket.
Oh, right. Okay.
For the kind you're talking about, and I've used those too for a different coffee maker. They're triangular, more like a funnel, so it sits down.
Yeah.
But they are folded.
Tell you the truth, Doug. I nearly went, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're finished here, Doug, the coffee filter is going to be opening down into this, or opening up?
They'll open up. I'll get them.
Okay,
I've got them in the other room here. I'll get them and bring them in. when I'm finished with this.
Right. Larry said that his lathe is belt driven, no electronics. It's just motor and belt. In
Yeah.
which case, it is going to be a lot more difficult, and the only way you could actually do that is change the pulley sizes.
Yep. There have been several people who have put YouTube videos out of modifying some of those less expensive lathes that taking all the housing off this back side, basically making everything exposed, and either changing the pulleys here or putting a separate motor back behind the lathe with a larger pulley on it, so that it in effect turns faster.
Right, Frederick, I will answer your question in a minute. Alan, again, I will answer that question because it's both the same question. The thing you've got to realize, if you've got a small lathe with a small spindle and you want to increase the speed, or you want to increase the size that you want to turn, remember the bearings and the spindle. You've got to take that into account, because a lot of these small lathes will not, the bearings and the spindle will not be able to take the bigger pieces.
Right.
That's why that's why a lot of people go for bigger lathes if they want to turn bigger pieces.
It's amazing when you see the difference between bearings from one lathe to the next. It doesn't to go from a lathe with a 1-inch spindle to one with a 1 1/4 inch spindle. The bearings are considerably. It's not a 1/4 inch difference in the bearings.
Yeah, it's a media bearing. I mean, and you can go look at the bigger lathes, the bigger robust ones, the Harvey ones, the likes of what Jamie's got,
Mm-hmm.
the likes of the VB36, which has got a totally different bearing setup anyway.
Yes, it does.
It really has. The VB36 does not use ball bearings or taper bearings or anything. It uses white metal bearings. There's all this type of thing to think of. If you want to turn big stuff, get a bigger lathe. If you want to turn smaller stuff on a big lathe, that will work every time.
Yep.
Right, Frederick was asking a question. Are you returning to turning soon? I miss your videos. Alan Gibb followed that up with Wayne, young man, when are you going to get back on the lathe, buddy? Jamie has answered that. Yes, he is, Frederick. AJK, Huey, and I will drag him back out there. And then Jamie said, I answered it for you, Wayne. Yeah, cheers, Jamie, mate. He tends to do that type of thing with me.
Talks for you, doesn't
He does a lot of the time.
he? Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah, Ruby's just said that she's going to be meeting people because she's coming across to Harrogate. Andrew has said, AJK has said, nice one, Ruby, looking forward to it. Jamie said, oh, the joys, Ruby, so excited. And Sticks has said, Ruby coming to the UK.
Yep.
Norman Greenwell's just come in.
Hey, Norman.
Doug,
I've been ever since Ruby said the other day that she was going to go to Harrogate, I thought, wonder how I could stow away in her suitcase. I'm not that flexible.
Yeah, you've got to get to Canada first.
Yeah, I can do that. I can drive to Canada. That's not a bad drive at all. Was sure hoping these jaws would be, or these bumpers would be set in the right spot, but they're not.
I think I jinxed you, Doug, because I was about to say, I can't believe you put that on there and they were at the right setting already.
Right?
And then you were within about 1/8 of an inch of them not closing right.
Yep. Yeah, I closed them all the way down, and they were just too much there.
Sneaks is going to be on the lumberjack tool stand at Harrogate this year.
All right,
Nice one,
Snakes.
Sneaks.
Good
Is
job.
Mama Sneaks going along with you?
Now that would be a show. Mama
And
Sneaks is a show.
Ruby said, "Hey, Ruby said, yes, you can, Doug. Should even should even share her room."
I bet she would. All right, now, if I get my little tightening tool, actually have to open them up now. Now watch, I went 2. I should have gone 1 probably.
I had no part in that.
Nope. Got a little paper towel in that little knot area. No problem. No problem. Came right out. Unlock my spindle. All right. That was one of the things that with that demo that was strange. I had to learn how to lock the spindle and all those fun things on that with that particular lathe that I was using. There we go. Turn my speed down.
Yeah, I think it's Harrogate that will come back to Harrogate again. It's one of the big over here in the UK. I'm not working this year. I'm just wandering about as a punter. And obviously being in the bar later on.
All right, just cleaning up this tenon. It's I did not make. I made some marks, but they weren't bad. So just clean that up just a hair. Make sure don't have any chip out in it. Little spot right there. So we'll clean that up. Take just a hair more off of that. Just using my skew as a negative rake scraper, laid over on its side. Then we can do a little sand and buff up there.
Just coming up to 9 o'clock, Doug. Oh,
all right.
Yeah, just coming up to 9 o'clock here, I should say.
9 o'clock your time.
Yeah, just coming up to the hour.
4 o'clock my time. 3 o'clock Todd's time. I guess 1 o'clock over on the West Coast. Not Ward Wilson's West Coast, but the other West Coast. Not the West Coast of Arizona. West Coast of California. All right, that's that. Oh, we'll give it a piece of paper towel here. We'll give it just a taste of abrasive paste. And I won't go through the different speeds and whatnot. We'll just put it on at speed. And if I need to, I'll come back later and redo. That's easy enough to redo. But for demo purposes, you've seen the long way of doing it, the right way of doing it. Now there is another issue with it holding. Oh, excuse me, just a second again. Okay, had to cough again. Sometimes those coffee filters, as they try to relax, they'll push themselves up in the top of the bowl. And so there's two ways of dealing with that. One, put a tight fitting lid, or what my friend Billy Burt did, he made a weight. There's something in my throat. I think it's grass from cutting the yard. He turned a kind of a spherical kind of weight to put on top of the filters down inside the bowl. So worked out really nice. All right, that's clean.
Right, Sugar said, I'm already looking forward to finding out where we are going to be able to get evening drinks. I have a feeling the premiere will be a little stricter this time around. Yeah, I've got that same feeling, Shug. The annoying thing is, which I found out from the father of the one of the managers at the premiere in South, is that the premiere in town in Harrogate has a late license, which is really annoying. But the thing is, if we find a pub somewhere within the vicinity of Harrogate that has an ordinary decent license, we can just go there
There you
and
go.
get a taxi back to whichever hotel, and you lot are in Airbnb, so it doesn't really make that much difference, you know.
And if Lucy's going to be there,
The annoying
she
thing
could be your
about
bartender.
yeah, yeah, but the thing is, the real annoying thing about Andy and Lucy being there is obviously they've got the kids, so
Yeah.
somebody's got to look after the kids as well, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all.
Right.
It's
No,
it's
right,
just
right, right.
they are restricted to what they can do.
Yes, absolutely. Um, that even affects Lucy on a regular basis, coming in to
Yeah,
watch the lives and
exactly,
whatnot.
exactly.
And Andy's off and out on the road. He'll watch on his phone, I guess.
Now,
Okay.
and no, the thing. Okay, now here's an idea. How far? I'm asking Andy and Jamie this here. How far out of town is the Airbnb you're staying in?
All right. There's the bowl. Here are the filters. So it's the basket type filters with the pleated sides. And over time, what happens is just the weight and gravity, they work on this and they flatten out. They get real flat. If I drop that in there, the bowl now holds the sides so it can't. I will turn a little weight to stick down in there and that'll hold the bottom, hold the filters down. And so they'll stay pleated.
Oh, nice one. You see that was
Figure that as your weight.
yeah. Seeing as I was thinking of the conical ones.
Right.
I was actually just wondering how you were going to finish that bowl to do the conical ones. Obviously, I was totally wrong on that.
The conical ones really don't need a bowl, really. They just just leave them in the box and put them on the shelf in the cabinet and all is good. Where these, oh, come on, unlock it. Trying to let the motor take my chuck off and I forgot to unlock it. These filters, they can stay, they come in a plastic bag sleeve kind of thing. And they can stay in that, but then you pull one segment out so that you can use them. And next thing you know, they're flat. So we end up having to reform them so they stay vertical. Um, and if I don't, sometimes instead of staying upright with the coffee grounds in them, they'll fold over. Then all the water pours out the outside, and then you get coffee grounds everywhere, and becomes
Now,
quite the mess.
Larry has said, turn them upside down so they don't get dust in them.
Yeah, I see. There's that camera locked up again.
Yeah,
This,
I
who
can see
knows? I'm
that.
gonna deactivate it and reactivate it, and there we are. We're back to normal.
Now, I've got to say, I don't use coffee filters. I've got a cafetiere that I use, so it's got its own plunger and everything.
There you go, like a French press.
Dances with Aardvarks. Does the Act paste keep your filter shaped better than New Yorkshire grit?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. In fact, yeah, the actual grit jar. Well, I'll show you. It's almost too big.
Yeah.
That's the white, and it's almost too big to go in there. It doesn't go, but just a little ways. Where the well, I can tell you what'll work. I've only got 2 extra jars that are been unopened. The Hampshire Sheen jars. They fit in there real nice.
Ruby said that's a great project, Doug.
Well, thank you. It works out. It's one of those things I've been wanting to do for a little while, and just other things were a little more important for the moment. So we've been letting it go. I guess if I had measured that, I could have gone a little bit deeper, and those filters would have fit in there just a little better. But anyway, that works for now, and I'll turn a little something, probably out of some more oak, so it has some weight to it, and just set it down in the middle. That'll hold those filters down in there, so that they don't spring out. Even like that, you can see it. They sink in just a little bit when I press on them, but they'll push themselves all the way up, they'll be close to the top, and they'll flatten out with time. So like I said, I'll turn an egg or something. I've got an egg I can drop right down in there, and they'll stay nice. It's one of those things you don't need it, but I can, so I will. Anyway, anything else? Any other questions there? Or
No, there's not many questions coming in.
all right.
Oh, Jamie said you could do a weight, a bleak coffee tamper to to have the holder in the middle.
Yeah. I had a lady call and say she wanted a coffee tamper made for her son for a gift. I told her, I said, I can turn it out of wood, or I can buy the metal, the tamper part, and turn a handle. And she says, that's what I want. I want you to turn the handle and have a metal tamper so they could be washed. Fine. Got the right size for her and all of that. There's 2 or 3 sizes of those. Got it in. I told her, if I buy the metal, it's going to be a good bit more expensive just because of the metal. She said, that's not an issue. Go ahead and get it. Ordered it in. Lo and behold, it took her forever to come get it. And she didn't like the price of it, even though she knew what it was going to be. So I had made 2 of them. The second one, I think I've still got the second one, as a matter of fact. If I do, I'll use that. If I don't, I'll make something. But anyway, just a funny story.
Yep, Shug has asked a question here. How common is instant coffee in the States as opposed to filter coffee?
People do use it. It's still on the grocery shelves, but not nearly as much as regular coffee. Now, what people have gone to is using the little pods, like the Keurig. People are using that a lot, but there's still an awful lot of the large cans of coffee on the shelves.
My mom used Folgers Instant for 40 years.
Yes.
Microwave water, put a tablespoon of that in, and stir it up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Like I said earlier, I use the coffee grounds with a cafetiere for my coffee. If anybody is visiting, they get instant.
Tell you, I really like percolator coffee better than drip coffee. The old metal basket on the top, and you
Oh
put
yes, yeah, yeah,
percolates
yeah,
up through the center and
yeah.
filters itself.
We
That's the
we
best.
we have got a very old one that Jane inherited from her mother, which I've got to say we have never used, and we
Oh,
really should.
yeah. I think it's the best coffee. That's what we use when we go camping. We tent camp, and that is part of our kit for making our meals. Is that percolator? You know, breakfast in the morning is usually bacon and eggs in a cast iron skillet cooked over the fire. And that percolator coffee is set over, the percolator is set over on the side of the fire, and it is usually done about the same time as the eggs and the bacon.
Yeah, I mean,
Do toast in that
I've,
cast iron. Mm,
I've still got my proper proper coffee maker for
yeah,
when I want to get a decent espresso. But usually it's the cafetiere.
there you go. All right. All right. So, Shug, I hope we've answered all your questions. Your life should be grand now. We've got you covered. uh, anything else? Wayne, you got anything coming up that we need to
Uh,
let
well,
people know
I
about?
well, tell you the truth, Joe, I don't know. I think I'm being bullied tonight. To tell you the truth, I think I was being bullied by, well, guess who? Jamie, AGK,
And
and
Shug.
Shug. Yeah, so I think I've been a bit bullied tonight. So let's just see what happens tomorrow.
There you go. There you go. How about you, Todd? You got anything coming up?
I don't think I do. I'll just be tuning in tomorrow for Worldwide Wood Turners,
There you go.
and Wayne probably in the afternoon if I can get back in time. So that's
Oh, here we go. Right.
I'm recently retired, so these mid afternoon over here in the United States times are a little more accessible than they used to be. So
There you go. There you go.
Wonderful being retired.
We're gonna have to work on your mic, Wayne.
yeah,
You go
he
at it
just
at the
put out
most
a query.
inopportune times. No, I don't think it's position. I think it's just the mic is playing up for some reason.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So it's perfectly clear at the moment. So anyway, yes, afternoons is fun after you've retired. You got all this free time. I'm not officially retired, but I might as well be. My wife says you got to get a job. Oh well, that's okay, folks. It's been good to have you in the chat with us today. It's been a good time. I've heard a lot of the questions that have been answered or asked and answered.
I see Scott Hampton is in here. I didn't see him earlier.
Hey,
Scott.
Scott, I never saw him in
Hampton.
here earlier
Yeah.
either.
He says
Scott.
he's preparing for demos at SWAT. I know he'll be a
Yeah,
regional demonstrator at SWAT, which I think
absolutely.
is maybe like the 23rd, 24th, 25th, something like that of August.
Something of August. Yeah, it's the last weekend of August. That ought to be a great time. I wish I could go. And
It's actually the next to last
no,
weekend in August.
is it next to last? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say that Captain Eddie's going to be there?
Yeah, Captain Eddie will be there. Probably, he said he'd be hanging out at Ruth's booth, which is now really a Carl Jacobson's booth at Niles
Right.
Bottle
Right.
Stoppers.
Yeah.
It's a fun time hanging out with Captain Eddie.
I'm just looking at some of the comments that are coming in still. Yeah, JP is still giving you a hard time, Wayne.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's just part of the nature there, isn't it? All right.
It is. Yeah. So the way these three guys go, that's Jamie, AGK, and Shug. They don't let up.
No,
Once they
no,
fix onto something, they just don't let up.
sure.
So
And JP's put in Carl who?
yeah, Carl who?
Did I say that? I thought, did I say the wrong name? Not Carl Jacobson?
No.
Okay.
You did.
You said it right.
No, you said the wrong name.
So I
should've
should have
been-
said it's a fun time hanging out with Robin And Carl
There
Yes,
you
also
go.
be
that's what you should have said.
yes.
It should have been Robin first, not
And-
Carl.
Yeah.
And
He-
yes, I will be at SWAT. I'll get there on Thursday afternoon and then be there through Sunday
There
afternoon.
you go. Yeah, JP just loves to give Carl a hard time, especially about his melodic tones.
Yeah, what a
Yeah, yeah, and his pretty boy hair, right, JP?
okay, guys. Doug, thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome.
Um,
Thank you, Wayne.
I'm going to shoot off and bitch to Jamie about a couple of things.
Wah, wah. All right, Wayne. Thanks again for coming in. Todd, thank you for coming in as
Yeah,
well. It's
thanks,
been a good
everybody.
day.
Nice live, Doug.
Um,
Nice live.
hope-
Thanks very
Hopefully,
much.
we'll see you all next week. I don't think anything's coming up to block it, but hopefully everything's going to be good, and we'll be right back here having another fun project. So, with that, I'm going to say good night.
Night.
All right.
Bye, everybody.